Hello friends, welcome to Healthy and Tasty Recipes. Today we are going to make bun pav at home. These buns are super soft and airy and very light on your stomach. They are made with whole wheat flour and all-purpose flour both. So please watch this recipe until the end for all the tips and tricks. Once you make them at home, you will never buy them from store. These are really easy and very satisfying. So let's take a look at the ingredients first. We need active dry yeast, about 2 teaspoons. You can also use rapid rise yeast if you have any. We need 1 teaspoon of salt, 2 teaspoons of sugar, 2 tablespoons of butter. We are going to use some butter in the dough and some for later. We need some warm milk, about 1.5 cups of warm milk. It should be warm, not hot. 1 cup of whole wheat flour and 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour. To begin with, we are going to first proof the yeast. That's a very important step in making any kind of bread, because if your yeast is not good, your bread won't come out fluffy and soft and your dough won't rise. So here I'm taking 1 cup of warm milk. It's just warm to touch, it's not hot. If you take hot milk, your yeast will die and it won't be good to make your bread. So to this I'm adding 2 teaspoons of sugar and I'm going to add 2 teaspoons of dry yeast. There is a rapid rise yeast also available in the market, which does not need any proofing. But for making breads, I always prefer the active dry yeast. I'm giving it a whisk and then we are going to cover it and let it sit for about 10 minutes until it puffs up or foams up on top. Until our yeast is proofing, we are going to mix all our dry ingredients. I'm taking 1 cup of whole wheat flour and 1.5 cup of all-purpose flour. To this we are going to add salt and we are going to sieve it once or twice. You can see the yeast is proofing here. You can see the bubbles on top, the foam on top, and that's the good sign. That means your yeast is good. If your yeast doesn't foam up like this, then please don't use that yeast and throw it, because then you are going to just waste your flour and other ingredients, because your bread or the end product won't come out good. I'm using my hands here to mix everything. You can even use a stand mixer. I have a stand mixer, but today I'm just going to show you how to make the dough with your hands. So now I'm just mixing the flour and the yeast mixture. We are going to just mix it lightly. We don't want to knead it at this moment. And now I'm going to add the rest of the milk that we had, little by little. And now from here we can start kneading the dough with our fingers. As you will start kneading, the dough will become very sticky, like so. So feel free to use some oil to your hands and do it, or you can keep the scraper handy so that you can scrape off the dough from your hands. We need to knead this dough for about 10 minutes really well. We have to continuously knead it and make it more elastic. Now you can see it is little less sticky than before. We have to use pull and stretch method to develop the gluten in this dough. So don't get disappointed if it's too sticky to your hands. This stickiness will go away in 5-10 minutes. But keep kneading the dough. I have been kneading this dough for about 10 minutes and it is now little less sticky than before. Now this is the right time to add the butter that we have. The butter is room temperature, it's not cold or melted. So add the butter little by little and keep kneading the dough. So we have to do this again for another 5-10 minutes. You need little bit of patience here at this stage, but it's just a 15-20 minutes of work of kneading and then you're all done. And that's why if you have a hand mixer with the hook attachments or dough attachment, I think that will definitely save your energy. I do that sometimes, but sometimes I like to make it with my hands just to have some exercise to your fingers. I have used about 1.5 tablespoons of butter in this dough and I'm going to keep the rest of the butter for later. Now you can see this dough is very soft and smooth and kind of loose. We don't want a stiff dough because otherwise the end product won't be as expected. So we want a soft dough like this. Now I'm going to keep this dough for resting and then we will wait until it gets double in volume or size. We are going to cover this bowl with some cloth or plastic wrap and keep it in a warm place. Wherever it is little warm in your house, you can keep it and wait until it's double in volume. It's been 45 minutes and my dough has doubled in volume and it's nice and airy and ready for the next step. Now we are going to deflate this dough by punching down the air from the dough. We are going to use our fist to punch down all the air, and then we are going to knead this dough for another 5 minutes. After punching down the air and kneading it for 5 minutes, we will make the balls out of it. One thing we have to remember here is to not overproofing the dough, because even overproofing can result in hard bread or hard buns. If you want to have a soft and fluffy buns, then you make sure that once your dough is doubled in volume, you punch down the air and move on to the next step. Here our dough is ready now to cut into pieces. So we are going to use a pizza cutter like this, and we are going to make equal pieces out of it. It's up to you if you want equal pieces or if you want to keep some small and some big. You can make 6 big buns or 8 medium-sized buns from this dough. I'm tucking in the dough to the center and trying to give it a round ball shape. We are going to do all the balls like this, and then we will proof it again. I have rolled all my buns and now I'm going to keep it in a tray. I have buttered the tray before. You can butter it or oil it. Just grease the tray so that it won't stick to the tray, and then we are going to give some milk wash on top of the buns. Use a brush to put some milk on top of the pavs. Milk wash is a very important step because it will give a nice color to your bread from the top. So once you are done with the milk wash, you can cover this tray with a plastic or cloth, whatever you have, and you are going to again keep it for proofing for another 20 minutes or until it's doubled. I have preheated my oven here at 350 degree Fahrenheit, and my buns are also ready to go in the oven. They are nicely doubled up in volume. You can hardly see the gap between them, and that's the sign that they are ready. Do not overproof your breads here. Do not wait for too long, otherwise it can deflate the breads when they go in the oven. Now we are going to bake them for 20 to 30 minutes. Keep checking them after 15 minutes. Sometimes the oven temperatures varies and the temperature in your area also can make the difference when you are baking. So keep an eye. My buns are absolutely ready here. I am brushing them with some butter on top, and then I'm going to cover them with a damp cloth and let them rest for 15-20 minutes. After 15-20 minutes, we can remove the cloth, and here we are. Our buns are absolutely ready to enjoy. They are nice and soft, and the color is nicely brown on top, and you can see the layers when I pull them apart. They are very soft and fluffy. Nobody can make out that it has whole wheat, which makes it little healthy. So I hope you really like this video. If you watch this video until the end and follow all the tips and tricks that I have given, I'm sure you can make the best buns at home. Thank you so much for watching this recipe. I really hope I gave you tips to make the best bread at home. So do try this recipe and let me know through your comments. If you have not subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe. It's free. And stay tuned with my channel for more healthy and yummy recipes in future. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.